Hello everyone, this is Fawad. Welcome to Future on Cloud. In our previous video, we have configured one virtual machine and we have verified how the traffic was passing through without configuring the firewall. By default, the internet access is allowed from your side, so we want to manipulate that access. Now in this video, we will configure our Fortinet firewall on the cloud and we will modify our user-defined routes to forward our virtual machine traffic towards the firewall so that we can apply some policies and forward a filtered traffic or incoming and outgoing for this particular virtual machine or particular network. So this is what we are going to do now. We first of all we will install our Fortinet firewall from marketplace and then we will change the IP addresses from DHCP to manual for internal and external interfaces. And then we will configure static route to for our protected subnets, and then we will allow our internal or production virtual machine through the firewall policy. So without wasting time, let's jump into our environment. So I just logged in on my Azure subscription. So let's go to marketplace, search for Fortinet firewall. So we have to install Azure application like Azure appliance, Fortinet firewall here. We create. There are multiple ways. One is through the template which is available on GitHub. Fortinet documentation, you can follow that one as well, but I wanted to have a more control on my load balancers, internal and external, and the subnets which I wanted to assign. So I'm just going to prepare it. So this video we will two options. First with full firewall, standalone firewall, and then later on we will go with high availability. Active. So let's go with this option first. So I select my resource group and the prefix will be firewall W. So later on we just S01 2. From here you have to select appropriate firewall version, M version. So this is the documentation which you can refer as for high availability we have to have the NIC. So we will go with standard appliance F4 which can support up to 4 virtual machines. So while selecting your virtual machine, keep a close eye on type which you are going to select. Although you can change it later on, but it would be better if you select as we have F4SV2 and 4SV only support 2 NIC, so it's not suitable for us. We go for the previous generation. So this is F4S, standard F4S, 4CP, standard F4S, 4 with 4 NIC. So this way, select this option and let me select the license file. Okay, I have selected the license file. It will be our firewall 01 next. And the networking, we will use our own IP scheme, which we have created in our previous video. This is the network which we're going to use for external interface and 10.0.20 for our internal and protected subnet. We will one into one. Here, this is our external subnet 10.0.10. Internal subnet is 10.0.20 and prod VM 1 and 2.6.10. This is what I have selected 20. Click next. So for the public IP, let's more appropriate as per our firewall name. So our firewall 01. So firewall 01 IP, and we will select the standard one. And here we can hit the seems to be filled. So let's see already why it is. Will take a couple of seconds. Okay, let's review our changes. Whatever we have. Good is this type is standard F4S, license file, sense name or VM name, or network, kernel interface, kernel subnet, and protect subnet. The IP name. Okay. It will take couple of minutes. So by the time I'm going to pause this video, once it is completed, I'll back. So deployment is still in process. So meanwhile, we will verify our internet access for our virtual machines, which we created in our previous video tab. So this is our virtual machine, which we have created in our last video, and this is our jump server through which we are going to access this. So I have already accessed my jump server, prod VM 192.168.10.4. This is exactly the same which is showing here. Let's show you the IP address as well. So 192.168.10.4 is the IP address of this prod VM. By default, as internet access is using Azure infrastructure, and now we wanted to manipulate it. Let me check here. So let me take this shot. So later on we will verify when our outputs stop. So once we manipulate the route, then we will again cross check IP it is getting good. Okay, so our deployment is complete for this virtual machine. Okay, deployment is completed now. Go back to your machines. So this is the firewall which we have configured just now. And by default, it has only two interfaces. You can see here NIC 1 and NIC 2. As per our requirement, we have a three NICs, although it is not really required at the moment, but later on when we our HA, then we add the interface. So you cannot add NICs when the virtual machine is up and running. So right now it is not started. So I'm going to add the interface right now. Operation cannot be performed on a running virtual. Okay, it started now. So problem. Let me access this virtual machine, public IP, and then we will shut it down. Access this virtual machine. The username which we have configured during our deployment. So let me show you the interfaces first. Here you can see we have only two interfaces, and third one we need to add for the management purpose. So first of all, let me configure the alias as N010 is for our external interface. This is for our external. Port number 2 we are using for internal traffic. All right. So as of now, no policy is configured, and static route for our protected subnet it is also not configured. So now we need to our static route and policies in order to retain our protected subnet. So what we will do is, first of all, we need to configure our route. Let's create a route first. Let's say internal firewall. Create. Here, what we are going to do now, we are adding our routing table somewhere at this point. Redirect all the traffic which is generating from this subnet towards the route table. Then from that point, we will point out all our traffic towards this interface. So just configure our internal to firewall, and here we have to define our subnets first. Which subnet we wanted to associate, and select from drop down menu. First of all, we select our broad VM subnet. The next subnet we have to associate our internal subnet. As you have seen here, our traffic is passing through using this public IP address. So once we manipulate the subnet, so it should forward through our firewall IP. And we need to forward our traffic from, rename it, alt route nation. The next hub, virtual appliance, our firewall IP address, span 010.4. The internal, and check from here as well. Internal span 020. So not showing one, so we need to check for NIC. Although you can check from the GUI as well, but I'm going. both options or whatever for you can. So this is our internal interface. As you can see, it is connected with the internal subnet. So this is the IP 10.0.20.4 where we have to forward our traffic. 10.0.20.4, which is our internal interface. Add. So now we need to create a static route, forward our traffic. Let's clone this one, or you can create one as well. So 168 dot. You can specify a complete subnet or a particular IP as well. So let's be more precise and add a particular IP. 192.168.10.4. 10.4/32. Gateway is fine. Now you have to specify a policy. The internet is coming traffic from internal interface and outgoing to external. Source will be the prod VM. So for this one, prod VM can go anywhere just for sake of testing. And I want to allow particular traffic first for HTTP ping. So these two protocols are allowed. That is fine. There's the page now. So far it is. Here we go. You can see now, earlier it was showing a different IP. Now it is passing through the firewall. This is the screenshot before manipulating the traffic. This is after manipulating traffic. The way you can verify traffic is passing through from the firewall. Open the run trace command. Here you can see the first hop IP address is 10.0.20.4, which is our firewall internal. Let's verify through the forwarding logs as well. Show some results. Traffic. Also verify it, the firewall policy and count. Here you can see the traffic is passing through. Generate logs as well. Is a local traffic. Should show traffic coming from firewall from the virtual. Anyway, this is the proof like how the traffic is passing through. Here we can verify our next hop is 10.0.20.4, which is showing here, and this command 10.0.20.4, and the public IP address is 5.4, which is public IP address of our firewall, the 5.4. So hence, it is proof that our traffic is passing through from the firewall. So we have tested it through the trace command, and we have checked our logs as well, but somehow it will take some time to generate some logs. So in our next video, we are going to configure active firewall, and we will test our traffic through internal load balancer and external load. So stay tuned, keep watching